What is up, guys? Welcome back to Wildcat Cave. Before we get into this video, guys, I want to say a big shout out and a big thank you to all of you who have subscribed and left comments down in the comment section and left a like here recently. This has been the fastest my channel has grown since I've started it, so I really appreciate it. Please keep doing it. If you're watching this, please drop a subscribe, a like, leave a comment down there. I will respond to you. We can have a conversation about anything you guys want. So I really appreciate that. But today I'm going through my top 10 logos from the University of Kentucky. It is worth noting that the university itself has only released 4 official logos ever. Only 4 official logos in the entire history of Kentucky athletics. I will let you know when those come up which are the official 4, but they use a lot of alternate logos and other logos that are technically not official, and a lot of those are included in here, guys. So let's get into it. Let's get this thing going. At number 10, we have this. I call this the Fighting Rabbit. This is probably my least favorite logo, only because it does not look anything like a wildcat. In my opinion, it looks more like a rabbit. If without the word Kentucky underneath, you would not really associate this with Kentucky. The K on the shorts is really your only reference. But overall, not much of a Wildcat feel, not much of a Kentucky feel. You would never guess this is for the university. Now, what I do like about it, it is fighting. He does look mean. He looks aggressive, which are all good things. Just not really a whole lot of Kentucky association other than the word Kentucky. Moving on to number 9, we have the water cat, the wildcat. It looks like a cat you threw in the bathtub and is not happy about it. Not necessarily a wildcat, but a little better because, I mean, at least it is distinctively a cat. It says Kentucky Wildcats on it, which is slightly a step up. If it didn't have those 2 words on it, I would probably put it below the rabbit we just saw because, I mean, honestly, let's just be honest. This thing is ugly. It does not look like a wildcat. It looks like a cat you threw in the shower with you. Now, moving on to number 8, we have this. This was one of the official logos, I believe, from 1973 to about 1988. This was the official University of Kentucky logo. I have this ranked so low because without the state behind it, you don't have a lot of references. The logo itself of the Wildcat head does not really, I mean, it's blurry. It doesn't have a lot of detail. I know technology was not as good then, but we could have come up with something better than this. Just the words Kentucky Wildcat would have gave you more reference. So, not the best logo, probably not the worst. At least the Wildcat looks mean, but not the best. We could have done a little better even at that time. Going on to number 7. We're looking at this. This is the first logo we see that uses the letters UK. So I do like that aspect. I know this is an old logo, but if they were to make the Wildcat on top look a little more distinct, put a little more detail in him, I believe this could be a better logo. This would be a logo I would not be opposed to seeing on like a throwback retro t-shirt or a hoodie or a hat or anything like that. But the Wildcat needs a little bit of work. I'd like the UK incorporated in it. But if you were to modernize this logo, I think that it would have been a lot more effective. And I think it still could be a retro logo that they bring back today and relatively be effective. And, you know, get the point across and be a good selling piece of material. Going to number 6, we have the 2005 to 2015-ish logo, not to be confused with the new logo, which we will see later. Overall, not the real Kentucky blue that I associate with the school. Other than that, I mean, it's UK. It's kind of the traditional UK logo everybody knows and loves. Not the best, not the worst. That's why it's kind of middle of the pack here. Nothing too special about it. I'll show you later the newer, updated one, but you know, take this for what it is. When you see them side by side, you kind of understand why this one is low. Up next at number 5, we have the brand new 2016 to present, more modern logo. Now, I like that it is that modern look. It has that more modern feel, not necessarily the traditional Kentucky basketball or Kentucky football feel. You see this, I think it's on the floor in Rupp. I don't really know how many places around Kroger Field that it is, but it's that newer, modern thing. Now, what I have to say against it is it looks awful similar to Kansas State. They kind of just took Kansas State's logo and instead of purple, they turned it blue. So not great there. I don't love this on every piece of merchandise. I wouldn't wear this on a hat, but it doesn't look too bad, honestly, on a hoodie. On the sleeve of a T-shirt or something. Not the worst logo in the world. I've seen worse, but definitely not my favorite logo. It seems like they copied Kansas State and honestly a couple other schools a little too closely here. Coming in at number 4, this one's going to be one of my all-time favorites. It is the Power K. I really, really like this logo, especially if the football team or something was to do a retro jersey game and put it on their helmets or something like that, or on their jersey somewhere. I really, really think the Power K it kind of like epitomizes the top of what UK football was at one point, with a Jared Lorenzen kind of having it back. They had it back in the 80s as well with Freddie Maggard and some of those guys. So the Power K really, I think, drives home some of that retro feel. Maybe not as much on the basketball side, which takes away from some of the, the rankings in this to me. But overall, I do love the Power K, and I would love to see the football team specifically bring that back for a game or so, maybe against Louisville or something, and kind of revamp that rivalry there, bring back the Power K retro logos. And then coming in at number 3, the modernized UK logo we just talked about, guys. Now, maybe you're wondering, hey, Wildcat Cave, what's the difference? Well, I'm here to tell you. Look at the K's. If that's not the biggest difference in logos I've ever seen, I don't know what is, guys. The modern logo has the flat bottom of the K, as to where the older logo has that pointed Power K look. They basically just took the Power K and added a U to it. Now, obviously, the color is probably the biggest difference, if we're being honest. The new logo has that more royal blue look, which, honestly, I just like better. And they've condensed it. It's not as wide horizontally. And not my favorite logo in the world, but definitely better than some of the ones we've seen. Definitely better than the old logo, especially the look on Rupp Arena floor. It just looks cleaner. It looks a little bit more tidy and modern. So that's why I ranked it a couple spots higher than the older 2005-2010 logo. By the way, both of these were official logos of UK and were recognized by the school as an official logo. Coming in at number 2 is the second Power K. It has the word Kentucky down the stem of the K, along with the Wildcat head. If you haven't noticed, that Wildcat head is the same one that is on the Wildcat Cave logo. JMI, if you're listening to this, I don't believe that is trademarked anymore, so don't sue me. I don't have any money. But this is a logo you could see kind of that 70s retro vibe, that college. It has that college feel to it. It's something you could imagine on the front of a varsity letter jacket. That, I think, is why I like it so much. It's not necessarily sports specific, but this is something you could see on like that varsity letter jacket or on that hoodie or on that t-shirt around campus. It has that really just, I don't know, to me personally, it kind of hits home. It has that retro feel to it, and I really, really enjoy this logo. This, if not for the next one, it would definitely be my favorite, obviously, but I'll explain why the next one's my favorite in a second. But overall, I think it doesn't get a whole lot better than this. You have the Wildcat, you have the Power K, you have Kentucky on it. It is very clear who this logo is for, and I think that merchandising would be very easy with this. I would love to see them bring back some merchandise with this logo. This was not an official Kentucky logo, recognized by the school, but it was one that they used very, very heavily, and I wish that they would sell more merchandise because, honestly, I wasn't around in the 70s, and I would love to get some of this merchandise for myself. And then, my absolute favorite logo, guys, if you haven't figured it out yet, it's the 90s logo. It is the Wildcat coming over top of the UK with the paw out ready to attack. This logo has a lot of different things. I mean, anyone who was born in the 90s like myself has a nostalgic feel for this logo. This is the logo we all grew up with, obviously minus the tongue mishap. my dad actually had a race car with this logo minus the UK, just a Wildcat ripping out of the hood with this, and it was, obviously nostalgic and emotional for me. I kind of grew up with this being the UK logo, so personally for me, this is the best logo. It is obviously different. It has more color and pop than the rest of the UK logos. Obviously, it has the golden or yellow cat coming out, not just a simple blue and white. So to me, this is the most aesthetically pleasing and has that nostalgic feel. I wish they would bring this back more often than they do. This is probably obviously Kentucky's most popular logo of all time. It really hits the heyday of Kentucky being in the 90s when we won 2 national championships. So this, to me, is the number 1 overall logo, guys. That will wrap this video up. First things first, shout out to my girlfriend Haley for the idea of ranking the logos. It was her idea for me to do this video, and I really thought it was a good idea. So shout out to her. As always, guys, if you have made it this far, like, subscribe, comment, share. Like I said, the channel is growing. I know right as of this moment, we have 33 subscribers, which is 32 more than I thought I would ever have. So I really appreciate it. We're getting a ton of comments, a ton of likes, so I really, really appreciate that. Let's keep this channel growing, guys. And as always, I appreciate you, and go